Dear colleagues, dear European partners, thank you for the possibility to address you today. Unfortunately, I have to cancel my trip to Prague because of the extraordinary situation we are facing. On 10th and 11th of October, and even today, Ukrainian energy infrastructure suffered from missile attacks of an unprecedented scale. No other country suffered from so many strikes on its energy system, especially in a single day. Up to 30% of energy infrastructure was affected. It is especially cynical because this happened on the eve of the winter, literally just days away from the beginning of the heating season. This attack was unprovoked, had no military purpose. The only goal was to terrorize the people of Ukraine. In this, they failed. Like many times in the past, my fellow Ukrainians stepped up. We voluntarily reduced consumption for this day by almost 10%. But the airstrikes continue even as I speak. 33 new missiles were launched yesterday. We had to suspend the export of electricity in an effort to stabilize our energy system. With this energy terror against Ukraine, Russia also increased energy pressure to the European Union. Russia's energy blackmail complements the Russian nuclear terrorism. Zaporizhzhia NPP has been under occupation since 4th of March. The hybrid attack cannot and should not remain without an answer. We need to further mount the pressure on the aggressor. We also need to continue to work on diversification, strategic autonomy, and resilience. First, the most important task is return to nuclear safety. It means demilitarization, deoccupation, and return of the Zaporizhzhia NPP to Ukrainian control. The world depends too much on Russian nuclear technologies. We need to put an end to Russia's dominance in this area. And Ukraine can share its experience in the diversification of nuclear fuel. We need to design and impose restrictive measures on Rosatom. This would send the right signal to the industry. Furthermore, we suggest to suspend Russia rights within the EIA. Second, we made good progress towards diversification, but the dependence on signal supplier is still significant. For energy security, we also need to envisage more fuel reserves, infrastructure, transmission, and balancing capacities, energy storages, and funding. Extra reserves mean additional investment. We need to plan carefully which spare capacities are already available and where new investments are absolutely necessary. This winter will be difficult, but we need to also start thinking about preparing for the next one. We can build more LNG terminals, storages, renewables, and make adjustments to our grids. Third, the war is not against Ukraine alone. It's against Europe, all of us, and our values. The markets cannot function properly in the war times. In these extraordinary times, we need extraordinary decisions. We need to cut the flow of Russian fossil revenues. Since the start of the war, EU payments for Russia fuel are over 100 billion. In this regard, we call on our international partners to establish an escrow account and to repurpose payments of Russian gas to the repair of damages to Ukrainian infrastructure. Finally, I would like to thank you for all calls and messages to me during all these days, full of solidarity. To coordinate our assistance, including the support of the energy sector, we suggest to establish an international advisory and coordination council at ministerial level. I hope for your support of this initiative. Our ambassador in Prague, Mr. Vitaly Usatый, will provide you with the contact point. In that spirit, I wish you fruitful discussion. Stands with Ukraine.